It's time for the Steve and Kyle podcast with Kyle.
Would that give you even an inkling more to be like, I'm going to watch it?
Yeah, I have wanted to see Oppenheimer.
Okay. None of the other ones, though? Like, if I were to tell you today, Anatomy of a Fall.
What happens?
It is
Who fell
a
off of what?
half foreign language movie. You look at you right there. That's where you always lose the dumb people, though.
And Steve.
You are taking your eldest, what is she now, 7, 8?
She's 4.5.
4.5. Almost got it. Happy birthday, Evelyn.
Nearly exactly 1 year younger than your son.
Is that so?
Yeah, so if you can just remember his age, if you can do subtraction, you can figure out her age as well.
Oh, boy, can't wait to forget that when I walk up the steps.
Live on tape from APS 3 point whatever, it's the Steve and Kyle podcast. Alrighty.
We're a few weeks away from some big goings-on around here.
Here?
Well, we've got, Paul Badness coming up. We've got your big trip. Wanted to ask you about.
Where am I going? Don't remember.
Going to see Hobie.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I am heading down south of the border, as they say.
What border's that?
The Florida-Georgia line. Just south. You big dummy.
Ah, yes. How could I forget? But, so I wanted to get a final update from you because I don't want to talk about this trip after today.
We're just jumping right in then. All right.
Yeah, I wanted to get a last word. Did the persuasion or discussion about Disney make any dent in the Florida plans whatsoever?
You mean the discussion that we had on this podcast?
Right, and I believe Leanne was going to reach out to
my wife,
to Annette.
I don't know. I don't think it's really been discussed. I think that we're kind of up in the air once again.
That's amazing. I mean, because in my eyes, kind of worked.
Yeah,
because you're still staring at. I still think there's an outside chance. Tuesday rolls around, whatever day of the week, it doesn't matter. And you're going to wake up and you're, gosh, do you think we should? And you're going to pack everyone up.
Yeah.
And head over to the Magic Kingdom.
Oh, God.
For a day at Disney. As unprepared as you were 1 year ago.
Yeah. The only thing I'll be slightly prepared for is how much money I know I'm going to spend. It won't be as much of a shock.
Yeah, well, I mean, gosh, for the four of you today, I mean, you're looking at...
Yeah, because Nikki won't get in free this time, I'm assuming.
What's the age?
Actually, no. I think it's under 2. Under 2 is free, so we'll be good.
You can juice that a little bit anyway.
He's not 2 until June.
They're not going to double check birth certificates or anything, I don't think, right?
Yeah, what are they going to ask for his ID? No, he doesn't have any.
Look at him, he's dumb, he's drooling. Want to check his pants? Guaranteed there's poop.
Yeah, no, there hasn't been any further discussion. We did realize, because we're going there in like 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
Yeah.
We realized, Annette realized yesterday we haven't booked a rental car yet.
Oh, good.
Yeah. But on the bright side of the crazy thing is, I remember we had looked at rental cars a couple of weeks ago. We just didn't pull the trigger on one. She said that she looked them up the other day. They're cheaper. So, cool.
I part of me would think that you would almost default. You've done this before, I think, right? Where they have apps now where you can rent it for the day or whatever.
Yeah.
And
like Turo. And
yes, that's what it's called. Did you consider that again?
No, I think for what we need, it's just easier to have it for the whole time.
Okay. So everything's booked.
No, the rental car is still
not booked. Okay, so you didn't. This wasn't the call to action that you thought it might be.
No. It was a call to attention, but not a call to action.
Well, I eagerly await the update when you're in Florida, like your picture at the gate. like staring at Mickey's nose or whatever as you walk in, and then again you're going to walk in and yell, "Where's the Goof Man?"
Yeah, in my best Bobcat voice.
Because you turn into Bobcat, and you're a real idiot about Disney, right?
Yeah. So I look for, again, the Goof Man.
You and I have a lot of discussions off air.
Yeah.
About what to do with our plethora of the windfall, if you will, of cash.
From this podcast?
From this podcast.
Yeah, we're basically the Kelsey brothers, just printing our own currency here.
And I wanted to ask, because I had another thought yesterday about what to do with the cash.
Oh, good.
And it has something to do with what you're already familiar with.
Okay.
Very recently, you and the side gig were all over the local news, right?
Yeah.
Guys, juiced the content wheel.
Yeah.
A little hard-earned cash from other people that gave it to you, and then you did something with it, and you got the goodwill. Is that accurate?
Yeah. Well, we could have just kept it.
That's what we do.
Exactly.
Which brings me back to what should we do with our cash?
Okay. How much? What do we currently have in the coffers there?
Let's say we're in the low to mid 3 figures.
Okay.
So what can we do? Should we put a call out for how we could get on the local news?
Oh, okay. So you want to, because I got a couple contacts there at the local news bureaus.
Listen. As soon as Katie pointed this out, I said, "Oh, I know what happened here. Some wheels were greased." Okay. Otherwise, whatever. A donation, cute, whatever. But yeah.
You mean to get on the news?
Yeah.
Shockingly, God is my witness, they reached out to us. Yeah. Both of them did.
And it was a local story. I know that this wasn't a reach out like, hey, just so you guys know, tune in at a certain time. We're going to do something big.
We were able to pit one news station against the other.
You're darn right you were. Yes!
Like, I was hoping for a bidding war where they would bid. Right. They would offer us money.
Right.
Be like, we'll run your story if we pay you $10,000.
Instead, you got 90 seconds of fluff time at the end of the 5:30, right?
I think the one we got a solid 4 minutes. I honestly haven't watched either of them yet.
Well, you were there.
Yeah, I mean, I don't need you to tell me my story.
What'd you guys do? I lived it. I'm fine. It's all over.
Slightly less good.
So, if you got 4 minutes for like a 4-figure amount,
yeah.
How much can we get on the local news for low to mid 3s? 3 figures.
All right, so okay, well, it has to involve. It's kind of like the whole idea of the Super Bowl commercials, where it needs to have a puppy, a baby, or a monkey involved. Right. That's where the puppy, baby, monkey from years ago came from. So as long as we're helping out a puppy, a baby, or a monkey, I think that our odds of being on the news are pretty good. Do you know anyone with a monkey?
Top of my head, no, but let's not rule that out.
Yeah.
Okay?
Look, there's got to be a listener of this podcast out there that has a monkey that we can accidentally lose for a couple days.
Right.
And then, look, your old heroes, Steve and Kyle, are just strolling through the park one day and look, what is that over there? That's right. That's the missing monkey. We're going to save it.
But how do we we need to financially do this.
Oh, no, I don't think we have to spend a dime.
Okay, so you're looking at...
We're just finding the monkey. The missing monkey that has been missing for days.
Yeah.
That everybody needs to find.
Here's the deal. We just want to be on the news. Okay? Or I do. Okay? And now what I want to know...
I want the camera right in here, and I want them to give us the instruction of talk into the microphones like you're doing a podcast.
Yeah, I know, News Monkey. Okay? We do this every week.
And then they'll do a zoom in on the meters on the board, because that's what all TV news reports about radio shows.
There's
and
definite B-roll of you and I guffawing in laughter at one of our hilarious jokes as you slide the things that we don't even touch until the start of the end.
Yeah.
So I'm posting on the poll, How much news time can we get with a donation of low to mid 3 figures? Because this is the way we get whenever we get any amount of money in there.
Yeah.
It's what can we do to spend it or waste it?
We need to get rid of this. This is burning a hole in our pocket.
And I think we're past the point of being able or figuring out the one option that we had considered that we're not. I don't think we're going to do it anymore.
What's that?
It was going to be the Jeep Fest.
Oh no! They replied. We're
no, I know, but we haven't done. We're not at the dollar amount that we would need to make it worth our while.
Yeah, so we'd have to go into the red, which is a very familiar place for us.
This would not be the first time we have dug into our personal accounts to lose money.
I'm not uncomfortable being in debt for this podcast.
Post on the poll. Should you be uncomfortable being in debt? So
no, it's a challenge.
So I've pivoted to this idea now, taking inspiration from you news whores over on the side gig.
All right.
That I want to figure out how can we weasel our way, even as the kicker, to the news, right? Okay. Like the 5:58, 30.
And finally tonight.
And finally, right?
Local stooges.
Yes.
Do something nice.
Anchorman made light of the skiing squirrel or whatever.
Oh, I have an idea.
Okay.
All right. So we're knocking on the door of spring. Spring's right around the corner.
Yep.
So people are going to be out and about, going to parks. Every neighborhood's got the park that's the go-to with the swing set and the rock climbing wall.
Yep.
I think we vandalized one of them.
Like in secret or get on the news?
No.
Okay, so we're the vandals.
So we sneak out, we vandalize the place in the middle of the night.
Yes.
Then when all the news trucks are there the next day to cover the big story in this town, we show up. We just happen to be strolling by and be like, look, I pledge right here, right now, that the Steve and Kyle podcast is going to repair this park.
Okay.
We're going to fix it. And then we just rebuild what we had destroyed the night before, make sure the cameras are there. Hell, we can just steal parts of the playground,
and then act like we bought
take them home, maybe put a fresh coat of paint on them so they look a little bit new, then bring them back the next day and be like, hey, your old buddies, Steve and Kyle fixed it.
So we're, okay, I love this. So, because then we don't even need to dig into the coffers. Because my idea was we can do damage.
A couple cans of spray paint or something.
Right.
Or some Windex to clean things up.
My idea is we can do damage up to low to mid 3 figures. So that way we're the heroes.
No, we don't even have to do that.
I love it. There's also, and I don't want to turn it on its head. So that's one option. Again, so of our options, let's start a list. Option 1, vandalize a park in secret.
In secret, yeah. That part we won't advertise.
Right. And then...
Well, I mean, we may have to go and do some editing.
No. This is all crazy. I mean, we're just the two of us here. That's number 1. Number 2, we support, like, the wrong reasons. Right? We need to find a GoFundMe like local gentleman wants Nazi tattoo. Okay?
So...
And then we're going to fund that.
Oh, we want to support that. Okay.
Not support.
Fund.
Just fund.
Right. Okay. I don't know if I'm on board with that one.
Just add it to the list.
Okay.
I mean, listen, we're at 2 really solid ideas. Destroy Children's Park. Help a Nazi get a tat.
Okay. All right. These are both not ones that I would have expected, but keep spitballing, man.
Or we just need to find, maybe it's a local business, something they're just about to fall apart, right? Mm-hmm. And we go buy, whatever, $300 to $500 of goods to keep them afloat for like an extra 48 hours.
Okay.
Right? But that 2 days, that person thinks, like, maybe I can save it. And then they go under just 2 days later.
They're going to get the news story.
Right.
We're obviously going to get all the accolades.
At least they're getting from Monday to Wednesday. Right. But part of the donations, we reach out on the side and say, hey, you need to, shoot a little screen grab to 3 of the local news stations.
Yeah.
So we can get a little rub.
We call the news stations in advance and be like, look, we're local high rollers.
No. Through our voice. I was just checking.
It's me, Bobcat.
I'd like to check out West Michigan GoFundMe's. And I saw this local florist who was $300 to $500 short on rent. And these two guys made it happen. You should look into it.
All right, so we have to get Bobcat Goldthwait on board.
Well, no, I mean, you and I got that covered.
Sure.
Right?
Sure. Okay.
By, again, calling the local hotline for the news channels.
Yeah, if you've got a news tip for us, call the Hound Dogs and we'll be on it.
Hey, it's me, Bobcat. Right? They're none the wiser.
No, they have no idea.
When was the last time they heard from Bobcat?
Exactly. The people working there are probably just out of college.
Couple of years they've heard from Bobcat. So this is a surprise. Hey, our old friend Bobcat. Right?
Okay.
How can we empty what we have to get on the news? To rival the side gig?
Boy.
3 really solid options.
Yeah. Okay.
Again, we're at Vandalized Park.
Yeah. And then Fixed Park.
And then Fixed Park, yes.
Well, we should say it like Vandalized Park. And then
Fix the park.
Fix the Vandalized Park.
Or option 2.
Help a Nazi get a tattoo? I don't feel good saying that. I think that we're going to have to eliminate one of them. And I think that's going to be mine.
Let's go through the options before we eliminate anything.
All right.
Or number 3, have Bobcat Goldthwait call the tip line and say that we saved a local business.
Okay. Is the Steve and Kyle save the missing monkey, is that out?
Let's put that at number 4. Only a few steps away on that one. 1, finding a monkey.
Yeah.
2, losing the monkey. 3, you and us finding that monkey for the news.
Okay. We just happen to be, again, walking through the woods,
Yes.
walking down the nature trail.
Yes.
There's the monkey. Heroes saved it.
I just feel like we need to get some rub.
Oh, and then maybe we can donate low to mid 3 figures to get the monkey a more like a more safe enclosure.
Right. And I don't know. I mean, are we just talking like a grass patch for him to poop in?
I don't know the first thing about where to buy a monkey enclosure.
We're not the monkey owners. We're just helping him out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just pass the cash along.
All right.
Like, here you go.
I think anybody can rescue a monkey. I think it's I'm up on the poll. I think it's the low to mid 3 figures that's going to really push us over to the news cycle.
All right. So yeah,
they probably get 10 tips a week about, hey, I found a monkey. Right?
Put that on the poll. Can anyone save a monkey?
Yeah.
All right.
Do you have? I mean, again, this is off the top of my head. I just thought of this. I remember seeing it on the news. A lot of people would say way too much the last few days.
I gotta go back and watch them.
Oh, I didn't watch them. I just saw the headlines.
Okay.
Because your cohorts wouldn't stop sharing them. To block them. Jesus. Get it. Self-filating. Good Lord. At least you have some dignity.
I'm just gonna share them, but just with just you.
Yeah, just share them anonymously in one of like the local watchdog groups. Hey, these guys seem great. Listen, we're open to ideas. Yeah. Or if you happen to have a GoFundMe about your like your local, as we talked about last week, your local lights above the mantle workplace is about to go out of business.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
We're looking to save you for upwards of 72 hours.
Yeah, we're looking to make it so that when you see the dollar amount, you say, guess we got to come in tomorrow. Kind of thought this was the end.
Is there anybody maybe it's just with this podcast fun, when I see something in there, I start thinking about, well, what should we do? How should we spend it?
Yeah, I don't really look at it much just for
I don't
that
either.
reason,
I just thought about it because last week we talked about it with our...
burns a hole in my pocket.
Right. Do we buy stuff for ourselves? But I think we get the rub by giving a local white supremacist a tattoo.
No, I don't. I think that one, again, has to be eliminated right off the bat.
It would get us on the news just for the wrong reasons. But, you know, it's the old saying, any publicity is good publicity, right?
That is not good publicity.
I mean, more people listen to our follow-up where we have to issue a long-form apology for helping a Nazi get the SS tattoo or whatever.
Okay. I'm uncomfortable just with the amount of times it's been brought up. All right. Boy, I'm looking at the account right now. And
Can we save some dog? Is there a dog like being walked to the gas chamber? That you and I, because that, listen, we talked about the Cure for the Cure when it happens is for an animal charity.
Yes.
Of some sorts.
Yes.
That's the one that crushes me. Like, I see those, hey, help us save. I can't, I have to go past them because it makes me so sad. Mm-hmm. So I need, like, you and I running to the door, news camera behind us, as, like, holding the load of mid three figures of cash, saying, stop that gas. Right?
This has really turned dark.
No, but this would be a good one because we would then, we're saving.
Got it. Okay.
Well, anyway, put the feelers out to your contacts that you used to get all over the news this past week.
By the way, we are just hours away from the next deposit being made into our account.
Oh, is that so?
For the big month of November.
Oh, that's great. Thank you all for listening to those automated ads. That one guy who hates Joe Biden.
The Lighthouse Retirement Hour.
You're helping us decide if we should save a puppy or get our logo on a Jeep shirt. Tough call. Tough call. Steve, it's admission time.
Okay.
And this broke this past week, and it's shocking to hear that somebody in a position of, like, somewhat intelligence could be this ignorance, a harsh word. Mm-hmm. But the news broke this week that a columnist for New York Magazine, a financial columnist nonetheless, was scammed out of $50,000 in what seems to be one of the dumbest scams ever perpetrated.
Right. I'll be the judge of that. I've been scammed before.
Now, are you familiar with this?
No, not. Okay. I'm familiar with the one, it was a couple of weeks ago, where it was like millions and millions of dollars by a very elaborate scam using like deep fakes and AI and stuff.
Yeah. We're not going to... This is all over the news cycle. You just have to seek out, the New York's financial columnist scam, and you can get all of the deep details. I'll tell you how this ends, though.
Okay.
With her putting $50,000 in a shoebox and handing it to a stranger out of her car window. Okay, so we'll go through...
Is that not a sound investment procedure?
So what I'll do is I'll go through some of the overtures, but I want you to start thinking. I know you just mentioned it, so you might already have the answer. I want you to start thinking, what's the closest you've come to being scammed?
Yeah, I can tell you a dollar amount, the amount that I was scammed for.
I'm excited.
Because
you seem...
I think I've talked about this before.
Really?
Yeah.
You seem like... I mean, we were born of an age where it seems like our generation is more adept at seeing these things and thinking about these things, right?
I kind of go into everything assuming that it's a scam and having to be proven otherwise.
Yeah, and I have one as well, close to, not being, because I can't, off the top of my head, I can't think of one where I've lost a substantial amount of money outside. And to be fair, I want to clarify, being scammed is not like identity theft, where it's not like your fault. You just, hey, password got stolen.
Yeah.
Whatever it may be.
Yeah, my example, I got scammed. All of the warnings were there.
Yes.
I should have known better.
Happened anyway.
Okay,
we'll get to that here after I give you some brief rundown. So her name, I thought it was Michelle Cowles, Charlotte Cowles.
Okay.
Last Halloween, she received a phone call from a woman claiming to be an Amazon employee. Said that her account had spent $8,000 on different technology, iPads, MacBooks, whatever. She said, I have not made those purchases. None showed up. Then she was, when none showed up, when she checked her account, she was transferred to an FTC investigator, which is the Federal Trade Commission, for more information. And this investigator started to spin a large tale. Her name was linked to a car rental abandoned in the Texas border to Mexico. A raid at a New Mexico home, found drugs and money and things like that. Essentially weaving this elaborate tale that somehow is tying back to her name. Texted her husband, I'm in deep trouble. She was eventually instructed to withdraw cash by a, quote, CIA agent named Michael, while investigators were checking out her case. Again, already obviously it's with the benefit of hindsight.
Yeah. If I'm getting the phone call from the Amazon employee, I'm already a little bit I'm a little bit on edge. First thing I'm doing is checking my account. Wow, that's weird. I don't see all these.
The bank would call you.
Charges. Yeah, the bank would probably call you. But again, even if it's the bank, I'm like, I still got my guard up.
Yep. So she was instructed to withdraw cash by a CIA agent. Throughout her, again, she wrote this column, so all credit to her because I would be way too embarrassed and ashamed to write this.
She owned up to it.
She wrote that her trust in the operation came from how many details they knew. Home address, social security number, names of family members. And that my 2-year-old son was playing in our living room. This kind of goes when I heard that, I thought, well, the first 3 items, pretty common identity theft items.
Yeah,
Social security number, home address, and names of family members. Like, hey, who are you? That's all like your marriage certificate.
Yeah, public records.
It's all public record. Yeah. And the fact that he said your 2-year-old son's playing in your living room. Was he out running the streets?
Yeah, right.
That's not even a guess. That's just a logical assumption.
Yeah.
Right? Told me my home was being watched. My laptop had been hacked. We were in danger. This all happened, it seems like a day or two. Day-long saga that kept her from her husband, family, and attorney. She came clean to her husband and to her scammers. Officers noted that no government official will ever ask for money. She was ashamed. So, yes, she went and withdrew. Again, without getting into too much, you can read her own article about it. We'll post a link in the notes of this episode. They asked her how much she had on hand, and now she is a 1099 worker. She's not a W-2 employee, so she kept a large fund to pay taxes, do things like that.
Yep.
She told them $80,000. I said, how much can you get? She said $50,000. Or they asked her, how much would you need to live for a year?
Oh, okay.
And she claimed that she could do that with $50,000. So she went and took $50,000, put it in a shoebox, handed it to the scammer, poof, gone.
Okay.
Shocking that somebody in a position of financial columnist would ever fall for this to that degree. Right?
It is. That is very surprising.
She wrote this as a kind of a warning, right? Like, hey, if I can be scammed, anybody can be scammed.
Yeah.
First of all,
at the point of them saying, all right, meet me on this street corner with a shoebox full of money, again, I'm the good guy. Nothing to see here.
The quote is, the guy told him, I can help you, but only if you cooperate. Do not tell anyone about our conversation, not even your husband, or talk to the police or a lawyer. The CIA would... That's every alarm bell in my head.
Yeah.
Right? Like, well, I need to talk to my attorney.
I would love it if I got this call. I'd be like, yeah, of course.
Right.
I am 100% on board with this. Tell me more.
This is it feels like a slightly elevated idea of what has happened in years past of, well, I need you to go to Walgreens and buy $500 in gift cards, right? That's the only way you can pay this.
The only way that the
IRS penalty.
Yeah. The IRS obviously accepts Venmo. Yes.
I'm going through and reading a few more of the details. And again, like, even being frantic, not knowing not wanting to disbelieve what someone's, hey, we're just trying to help you. They're spending your money. I just want to make sure you're safe. Mm-hmm. I don't know how it gets to that point of spending or taking out $50,000 in cash and handing it into a shoebox. So, Steve, I come to you, asking you, what is the closest you've been scammed? You already admitted it's happened.
I have been, yeah.
I don't think we've talked about that here.
I could have sworn that we did.
I don't recall it, but in fairness, I tune out most of what you say.
I expect that.
Not a fan of the production.
Doesn't surprise me that you don't remember it. I'm sure we've had this we could have had this conversation 3 days ago. I was scammed during one of my car rebuild projects. for $450. And it was a Facebook Marketplace scam. Somebody said they had parts posted that I needed.
Okay.
Messaged them. They said, yep, here they are. They took pictures and everything and sent me the pictures. And I said, great. This seems like exactly what I need. And they were, I remember it was like 2 days before Christmas.
Okay.
And they were like, oh, well, I mean, I can send them out, but it's, I'm leaving tomorrow for vacation. So, you send me the money right now and you have to send it PayPal, friends and family. And if you send it PayPal, friends and family, there's, I don't know, something like there's no
protection.
There's no protection on it.
Right.
Which at the time I kind of knew, but I thought it was weird. But I was like, I don't really need them that quick. Well, I mean, if I'm going to be gone for a month, like, oh, okay. And so I sent them the money, and they said, I am packing this up right now and going to mail it out. I will send you the receipt as soon as I get to like UPS or whatever it was. And then that night came and went, and they said, yeah, sorry, I didn't get a chance to do it, which I now know was them waiting for the money to clear their account. And eventually they said, yep, okay, this is 2 days later, probably Christmas Day. I'm going to the post office right now. And I was like, wait a minute. And yeah, here I am. I'm at the post office. And then they eventually just ghosted me, and I never heard back from them. Luckily, I was able to, I think because PayPal was connected to my credit card company, I was able to file a dispute with my credit card company and got the money back. It took about a month, but...
Well, you got it back.
Yeah, I got it back. So I was scammed initially, but I was able to get it back.
Right.
And there have been numerous other times where, since then, I'm a lot more vigilant, and I know that I would have been scammed if I had continued with it. So yeah, $450, that sucked. It sucked losing that money, even though I got it back, but it was more of like a shot to my ego. I'm like,
yeah. Well, and
man.
for you, it's probably more bummer that you didn't get the parts.
Yeah, exactly.
Right,
I was pretty disappointed. Yeah, that sucked though, man. I was like, crap, now I'm an old person. I just got scammed.
It's crazy that we have to, I mean, a lot of times we have to be almost on the lookout for my parents. If they send me like, hey, my mom is very good. If she gets an email or something like that, she'll send, even if she's somewhat skeptical, she'll like forward it to me and say, hey, what do you think of this? And I'll say, hey, look at the email it came from. And it's always, 15 periods in the middle and letter.
Yeah.
Like, it's obviously not from Amazon or from Visa or whatever.
Yeah.
Right. But in some cases, man, you don't know. Right.
Yeah. I remember my mom, maybe a couple of years ago, sent, because we have a group text with my brother and sister and my mom, she sent us a text, and it said, hey, I can get Apple gift cards. I don't have to go to the Apple store for them, right? And I was like, no, you should be able to get them at the grocery store. Didn't think anything of it. And then she said, oh yeah, my friend Elaine sent me a Facebook message, and she needs Apple gift cards. And I was like, whoa, hold on now. That is not legit. Like, oh yeah, she said she was in Paris and she needed, she got arrested and they could only pay the fine with Apple gift cards.
Right.
I was like, nope, call Elaine. She's not in Paris. She's like, yeah, I thought it was weird. She didn't tell me she was going to Paris.
And it's such a prey upon, obviously, a whole generation, right? To do that. The closest I could think of when I was reading this, I thought this was years ago when I was actively trading comic books and stuff, and I was going to make a trade for a series of books that I was going to give to someone as a gift that I really want. It was a fair deal, I thought. I had some really nice. They were newer books, but they were rarer, like harder to find, so they were more expensive and new for a couple of books from the 1960s that I knew somebody really wanted, and I was going to be able to, hey, I won't have to spend money to do this.
Right.
So I had figured out, I'd done a handful of trades before, and probably ignorantly, never even second guessed it. Yep, all right, ship it out tomorrow. And it always worked. I always got my books, they got their books. Yeah. Thumbs up, we were all good to go.
Yep.
So you become...
Well, you want to think that you're dealing with people who are good.
Yes. So you become, at least in this regard, I became probably way too trustworthy, right? Mm-hmm. So I come to the deal. We agree to this deal, and we're going to ship these. He's going to ship those, whatever. I send him shipping, the tracking number, hey, they're on the way. Mm-hmm. And he's not that far away. And then becomes this tale about how he's actually headed to West Michigan in like 2 or 3 days. Mm-hmm. And we could just meet in person. And he'll hand me the books then.
Yeah.
And initially I thought, okay, maybe. But then I thought, you know what? No, just ship them. Mm-hmm. And he wouldn't ship them. But my books are already in the mail.
Yeah.
So I had, let's see, probably overall the books I'd sent, 100, 150. Mm-hmm. Plus an extra, I think it was probably 20 to ship, 15 to ship. So I get to the point where I'm frantically calling the post office.
Yeah, trying to stop the shipment somehow.
And it was, thank God, I shipped it priority, whatever, with a tracking number and all, and I think it comes with insurance or whatever.
Yeah, it's usually like up to $100 of insurance.
Yeah.
Or something.
So I was able to call like the post office in the middle of Illinois and put a hold and return on this package that you have to pay to return. Yeah. An extra, so I ended up losing money, but overall I got the package back. Guy blocked me. It was absolutely 100% scam.
Yep.
And I felt really good. Yeah. Even though it cost me money.
But you still caught it.
I caught it, right?
Yeah. Not like big dummy me who didn't catch it. It sucks, man. It sucks when you realize that. When you realize, because you want to think that the scams only happen to the old people, and then you find out like,
am I one of the old people now?
I'm the old person now. Yeah, it's no fun.
No, it's not.
No, not at all.
I'd be curious. Do you think any of your I mean, like you said, you had that call about, hey, they're in Paris. All of our information's out there, right? Yes. Like dark web, like somebody has it.
I'm sure it's being bought and sold right now as we're talking about it.
I had one a month ago.
Oh yeah, you had some issues.
Yeah, and it was I had to Google to make sure it was something that actually happened. I didn't even know how to Google it. Mm-hmm. It was like an email bomb.
Yeah,
to the point where it was hundreds, thousands of emails. That even Gmail was like not filtering all the
couldn't
spam
keep up.
Ones. So I Googled like, hey, what is happening? Because what's the point of this, right? Mm-hmm. Outside of, and it was all I knew to not click in the emails and click the links in the emails to. Well, I'm going to go unsubscribe manually from all these lists because then it just acknowledges that you're seeing and engaging in what's happening.
Yeah.
So everything I had read was if you're being email bombed or spam emailed, click the report spam, don't unsubscribe, don't engage with the emails. Mm-hmm. But the whole point is that somewhere in these hundreds and thousands of emails are going to be legitimate transactions.
Oh, so like they used your info to buy something somewhere.
Correct. So it seems like they had my email, which it's an email address, right? And somehow, whether it be from a scraping service, whatever, a password.
Yeah.
That they found worked on, for this case, it was Kohl's. Mm-hmm. So in the hundreds of emails, because I'm slowly deleting them, I'm just making sure Mark Jacobs, and they're all the same, signed up for thanks for signing up for Mark Jacobs. Thanks for signing, but then there's some of them that seem so fake. It's like, thanks for signing up for, I believe it was old nude magazines mailing list. Seriously,
I mean, look, some are legit.
And then in the middle, I see Kohl's transaction, 2 of them, your orders confirmed back to back. It was $400 to $500 of perfume, and cologne. But it came back to back with your shipping address has changed and some address in California.
Yeah.
So part of me almost thought, Steve, I almost became vigilante. Part of me considered...
How?
Part of me considered taking that address...
Yeah.
And like Googling it. It was in California. But then like contacting the local police department out there and saying, hey, this address is now listed on an account that they just like tried to steal from me and fraudulent charges. Mm-hmm. Do police departments care?
No.
Would they have even looked into it?
They would have said, oh, cool. Okay. Yeah, we'll be sure to push that right to the top of the priority list. Yeah. Yep. Murder? No, that's down to number 2.
Listen.
Hit and run?
Yeah.
We got to get Kyle's perfume money back.
So I did think about it, and I still wonder, like, should I have done something more than just what I did, which is change password, removed all of my information from like Kohl's and their website and their app and everything. So like,
which not enough companies give you that option to the whole delete account or delete my data. Not enough give you that option.
Yeah.
Because I absolutely hate it when I have to set up a new account for any reason. I don't want to have to set up an account. I don't want you to have my information. I want everything to be like with Apple Pay, where it's basically a relay service where I don't have to give my email address or any information. Yep. I want it to go through this, then to you. Because that is one that I use on a regular basis. I don't want to have to set up new accounts for anything.
I know.
I hate that. I hate when I have to do that.
So this like I said, I removed everything, changed the password to like a Google suggested password, which is like 20 digits and whatever. Yeah. So not impossible to crack, but very, very difficult,
yeah, I mean,
right?
If it's 28 digits, it's a lot
but obviously, whoever had it saw that it worked the one time, even though I got the order canceled the next day. Because here's what's fascinating: is I'm not frantic because I know in my head, like, hey, I spotted the one charge, right? I saw what's going on. Miraculously, these fraud lines that they suggest you call for major retailers runs on like business hours, like Monday through Friday.
Yeah, so all they have to do is do it at Friday at 6 p.m.
I saw this.
And they have a 2.5 day head start on it.
Yeah, I saw this charging within 3 minutes on the app. Had my password changed and tried to cancel the order, and they said I had waited too long. I couldn't cancel the order. So I'm just sitting there, and I know I know eventually it'll be made correct.
Yeah.
Right? But I'm sitting there, I'm Googling, what numbers I can call for this massive company to dispute this charge or get it off then. Nothing.
It's a terrible, terrible feeling.
Fraud hotlines running on business hours.
Yeah, it's a real helpless feeling when you get scammed like that. Like for me, like I said, it was 2 days before Christmas. So everybody's running on holiday hours and, wait times and all of that crap are just ridiculous. Yeah.
About a week later, I got two more Kohl's emails saying your account's been locked, too many unsuccessful attempts. So obviously they still had the same old password. They figured, maybe it's back or maybe it's normal. To the point where I got so aggravated, like you mentioned, I just deleted the entire account.
Yeah. I mean, how often do you need a Kohl's account?
Yes.
You don't. I've already said it. I hate signing up for things, especially if it's going to be a one-time purchase.
Right.
Where I have to use, and I can't. The best thing in the world for me is when I click on something. Oh, I want to buy this. Oh, it's not on one of the sites that I normally buy stuff. But I see that there's the option to pay with Apple Pay, pay with PayPal or whatever. I just... which is stupid because I shouldn't feel any safer about those, but I do.
Right.
Just because I've used them so many times.
Right. It feels like you get to a point where it's so, I've used this. I use this everywhere. Gas station, grocery store, wherever. I tap and pay, tap my watch, tap my card. It also, I got emails from Wayfair. I don't think I've ever bought anything off Wayfair. And I was like, hey, your account's locked.
Yeah.
Same thing. They
don't even have it.
Yeah. So I went in, deleted the account there. I don't want to say this too loudly, but I think I'm smarter than the scammers. Right? think I got him.
Are you willing to say, I, Kyle, will never get scammed?
Here, I'm going to open the doc. Proclamation for the year. I, Kyle, co-host of the Steve and Kyle podcast.
Yes.
Am unscammable.
Whew. Okay. The unscammable Kyle.
I'm comfortable saying I would never in a million years empty 65% of my life savings in a shoebox and hand it to someone out my window.
Yeah, that I'm very confident in. I need to at least
in your day to day. Who's the real? Who would get caught? Who would get got? Do you know someone who you like? Maybe not worry about, but you're like, oh boy, if they come with even a slightly above average scheme, like they're susceptible.
I would have said you.
Really? Hard to argue. What's that? $10 in free comic books for life?
I know, it would be so easy. Just make some real ridiculous promises to you, like, yeah, I'll regrow your hair.
Mingle Super Bowl? $20?
Yeah, it's a little known way to help expand NFL fandom. They're offering these tickets real cheap. You want them?
I feel like it would be
tickets.
It would be more difficult, but I feel like yours would definitely, as it already was, it would be car related.
Yeah, it would.
You would have. It would be.
Look, how many times have I talked about getting the deal of the century?
Right.
I thought the deal of the century, like the deal of the century.
I thought that was a scam.
I thought it was a scam too.
It took you long enough.
It took the guy so long to send me stuff.
You have dealt with vehicles being shipped. Mm-hmm. And I know you're using legitimate websites and everything. It's hard for me to look at that and go, boy, that's safe and sound.
Yeah, with those I'm not as worried about because
there it is. There's your gaping. There's the gaping security hole in Steve. Ooh.
Well,
89 Comanche RF with a light header. And
I think that for me, the bigger the company is that I'm dealing with, the safer I feel.
Okay.
Like where the website where I've bought vehicles before and had them shipped to me, Copart. They've been in business since like 1982. Mm-hmm. I'm not as worried. I don't. It's once it's on an once it's on a 1-to-1 basis, like you were with the comic books.
Yep.
It's suddenly it's not a company anymore, but it's Johnny in Illinois. Then it's like, I mean, it's kind of honor system.
Man,
it's.
I feel like this is. I don't know if you're ever going to get back in the game of second chance Jeeps buying, previously.
Look, man.
Previous Jeeps where murders and deaths have happened.
Constantly looking for a good deal on a piece of crap.
But I feel like that. I mean, listen, cars. Even the car itself could be the scam.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know how much Copart or whatever you just said it's called.
Mm-hmm.
Like verifies the details of its listings or vehicles
the thing with Copart is they have the vehicles in their possession.
Okay.
So what Copart does is they deal with insurance companies that say you smash up your car today and it gets totaled.
And someone died.
Your insurance company pays you out.
Yeah.
That vehicle then gets sent to a Copart yard, which is an insurance auction.
Okay.
So they then sell the vehicles. So they're a legit company.
Yeah. But there could be a listing that would say, like, definitely not part of a massive flood. And then you get it off the trailer as gallons of water are pouring out the back.
They do. I don't want to say they do their due diligence, but they pass along the info as they get it. So if your insurance company says this car was totaled because of a front end collision, Copart is going to take their word on it.
Okay.
Now, there could be other things wrong with it that they didn't disclose. Yeah, there have been plenty of people that I've read about who said, yeah, I bought this thinking that it was it was a flood damaged vehicle, but it turned out there was a fire.
Right.
So, yeah. Now, A couple of the ones that I've bought, I've actually been able to look at in person because they were close to here. So
right.
I, drove an hour to check the thing out in person before I bid on it. This
is a big pull.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna re-up this one a few times during the week.
Okay.
Next week, we find out definitively who is more scammable, Steve or Kyle. Well, make sure you retweet it, and we'll repost it.
I think it's going to be me because I think I
don't think so. You've done even on this podcast. There's kind of the reputation. You've done a lot more big deals, vehicles, parts,
right? But that alone would make me more susceptible, just because I put myself out there more. So,
but you've got that iron suit now, though, right? You've done it so many times.
I kind of feel invincible.
Roll your results, 100% Kyle.
You did just say that you're unscammable.
I did, yeah. People should believe me.
That means you have a bullseye on you.
Do you think Araful is listening right now and he's like, I got him.
You got a target on your back.
I got him. We talked earlier. How do we spend our money? The answer's been in front of us for months, and it was in the form of a shrouded penis.
Yeah.
Our friend Araful.
Sent from a man named Araful Islam, who just wants to promote our podcast to #1 on the iTunes charts.
We should only pay him for iTunes and Google Podcast ratings. Google Podcast going away in a month.
Right.
iTunes, you can't even download it anymore.
No.
That's how we use our money.
That's exactly what we need.
Well, sorry about the charities that we were going to help. We're instead going to pay the man who sent us a dick pic to promote us on dead platforms.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're good with money.
Boy,
God, we're good.
So good.
Sorry to that local white supremacist who wanted a tattoo.
At Stephen Kyle. All this week's polls on Facebook and Twitter. At Stephen Kyle, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. For all of the latest content posted by us.
Yeah, stay tuned. I don't think it's next week. I think I'm gonna make every boy, I don't want to come out that firmly. I'm gonna really try to get Poll Badness off the ground on time this year.
All right. Well, that's as close to a promise as you're gonna get from us.
Next week? No. 2 weeks.
All right. At Stephen Kyle, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. We'll
maybe
talk
a
to
month.
You soon.